I see here from the fake sheet that you came in for knee surgery, and per your request, you're asking for social services to assist you in what you identified as an alcohol abuse problem. For this, I'm going to ask you a few questions in order to be able to identify your support system as well as your strengths in order to be able to provide you with good services that will be able to help you with your alcohol abuse problem. So before doing that, I would like to ask you some questions. The first one would be a little history about your upbringings, your family, or as well as what caused you to abuse alcohol. Can you tell me a little bit about a little history about when you started abusing alcohol?
I started drinking heavily when I revealed the sexuality to my sexuality to my parents.
Okay.
My mom was 100% okay with it. She was supportive. She cried. I cried. And then she convinced me to tell my father.
Okay, so you had great support right there. Now, what was your father's reaction?
My father didn't like it at all. He was very mad at first. He still is very mad. Wasn't accepting of it. We grew up in a small little town, going to church every Sunday. He's a old-timer, old-school mentality. He believes that homosexuality is a sin. He believes that a man should marry a woman. He was also hurt too because I'm his only son, and so he's kind of expecting me to get married, have kids, get a house, grow old, type thing.
So it seems like he took it very hard, and this is what caused you to abuse alcohol. Tell me a little bit about your relationship with him before revealing to him your homosexuality.
Well, we were very close. Like I said, I was the only son they had, so every little thing that my whole childhood was just me and my dad. Whether it's working outside or hanging out or playing sports, it was always just me and my dad. And so for me to tell him my sexuality, it was very tough because I knew how he was going to take it. And for him to hear what I told him was very hard for him as well because we were so close.
So it seems like you had somewhat of an idea that he was that he might not be as accepting, but it seemed like it still deeply affected you since you guys had a great foundation, a great relationship, and you probably had some hope in there, right? That he would probably see where you were coming from, that probably be upset, but kind of throughout the days, kind of ease up and be more supportive.
Yeah, that's what my hope was for at first, but it hasn't turned out that way. And after I told him, he just kind of disowned me. Doesn't really answer my phone calls when I go over to the house. Doesn't really talk to me, even make eye contact. And so that would lead to me leaving my mom's house and going out clubbing or just going home and buying beer and kind of just drinking my sorrows away.
Okay, so you're missing that relationship with your father. So now, give me a little bit more details about your father's upbringing. You mentioned and that he was old school, he's more traditional. But tell me more of where these beliefs are coming from.
Well, we're Hispanic, and we're Catholic,
Okay.
and so he was raised with a man should marry a woman, a man should provide for the woman, a woman should stay at home, that type of stuff. So with me, of course, he wanted me to do the same as him,
Exactly.
and so he just took it the wrong way because he was brought up.
So it seems like since you're not fitting into that mold, he's kind of shaming you. But I want you to be aware, and it's perfectly fine for you to be a homosexual. That's perfectly acceptable. That is nothing to be ashamed about, and neither for you to abuse something or for you to want to kind of harm yourself, because abusing alcohol is a form of harming yourself. It's a form, it is a depressant. So it is very evident that this relationship with your dad has been greatly affected you. So you mentioned that your dad, he's traditional. So have you tried talking to him again? Maybe mentioning where you're coming from, your individuality, how it's okay if I don't fill this mold that, is the cultural norm.
No, there's no talk with him aside from him being that old school mentality. He's very stubborn as well. So even when I do tell him, he firmly believes that my sexuality is a sin, and as of now, it seems like he's not going to be on board with it or supportive at all. So it's definitely hard to stop drinking. I've tried a couple times, but then I'll talk to my mom and I just want to talk to my dad, and then next thing I find myself drinking because I know that I can't talk to him the same anymore because he's judging me.
Okay. So maybe I know you mentioned that your mom was very supportive. Do you think maybe going with her to talk to your dad, maybe that might ease, or someone that your dad finds very good to communicate with, is able to understand more fully, to accompany you?
Well, every time I talk to my dad, I have my mom right there because she's still trying to get him to change his ways of thinking, but it just hasn't been working out at all. I've talked to my sisters to try to ease his mind into the whole situation, but it's just having a lot of trouble trying to sway his train of thought.
And it might take some time. He might need a little bit more time, and you need to first make sure that you're not harming yourself. So that when the time comes, you're able to have that healthy communication with him. You're able to have that conversation where you're able to tell him and express to him how you feel and how it is not your fault and how it shouldn't be shameful of your homosexuality. So now, can you tell me, how long have you been abusing alcohol?
I've been abusing it for the past 3-4 years since I revealed to him that of my sexuality. And after having this knee surgery, it just kind of hit me like it's not something that I should continue to do because my life could continue to spiral downwards.
Exactly, and that's great that you see it, because then later, hopefully not, but instead of being here for knee surgery, it could be, alcohol affects you in so many different ways: kidneys, liver. Emotionally, physically, alcohol, when you abuse it, it affects you a lot. So we obviously, we don't want that for you. So, have you tried quitting, or has there been a couple of days that you haven't drank?
It'll go on and off. I'm probably about 2 days sober.
Okay.
But that's not even sober because I feel like drinking right now. But
okay. Well, I do want to praise you for admitting that you have an alcohol abuse problem, and for wanting to quit. It is definitely hard. I can't tell you that it's not going to want to come back, that you're not going to have withdrawals, but for it, I want to make sure that you have a good support system and that you're able to rely on people if for some reason you do decide to consume alcohol. So is there anyone that you can identify as a support system that you're able to call if you feel like you're going to drink?
Well, my support system would be at home with my partner. He doesn't want me drinking. He doesn't like me drinking. And so he's definitely my greatest support system right now.
That's good. Okay, so I do want to provide you with some resources there's AA meetings that are held pretty much the whole week. There's some on Monday, some on Tuesday night. You can choose your preference. I'll provide you with the listing of the different locations that are offered for AA meetings. You can go. I know they're very welcoming. You can talk and share your story when you feel that you're ready. And let's see what else. And then I also I see that you have a lot of strengths. You identified, having times when you have quit. So I could see your determination, but it's a process that it has to go through. Everyone has a withdrawal, so it's totally normal. And now you're finally have set. Okay, that's it. I don't want to affect my health. I don't want to affect my relationships. And that's great to hear. So I'll provide you with the listing, and I want to thank you for your cooperation and your honesty in this very sensitive subject. I want to praise you for being open and sharing your story. And I also want to let you know that it is important for you to create your own story, your own individual story, and sometimes it is hard to not fit with cultural norms and that, but understand that each person is unique and each person has their unique story. So thank you so much. Who else can you identify as a support system besides your mother and your partner?
Probably just my sisters, and that's it.
Okay, so that's good. So it seems like you have a good, stable support system at home, and then with your family as well, excluding your dad for now. Okay, so that's great to know. So now tell me, when you quit drinking, what are some things you're going to see differently?
Well, my health should improve.
Okay, that's great. Get that.
I should save some money if I'm not spending on alcohol.
Definitely.
And hopefully my relationship will continue to grow with my partner, since he doesn't like it, and that's a stem of the fight.
Now, how long have you been with your partner?